Like there's this culture war that's really happening in brand marketing right now because the American Eagles Good Genes campaign is kind of like splitting opinions. Like when we're looking at the numbers between like red and blue lines, and it's not even about selling jeans. It's like you get a celebrity endorsement powered by the president. I actually want some good jeans. I don't care about the sexy girl wearing them. Hey everybody, welcome to B3 Byte Universe, where we dive into data-driven world of media, technology, and culture. I'm Barika Phillips-Bell, one of the three co-founders of B3 Media Solutions.
And I am Sarah Boos, Senior Social Media Analyst and Marketing Specialist here at B3.
And I'm Taylor Smith. I am the Social Media Manager here at B3 and a Social Catalyst.
And together we represent three generations, Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z, bringing diverse perspectives to our analysis of digital trends and insights.
And in each episode, we'll break down the latest in data, culture, tech, media, and sound bites that are shaping our digital landscape.
Once a month, we will bring you all the bites. So let's dive into our fifth episode of ByteSized.
Wow, never felt.
Yay!
Wow! Oh my goodness, we've done this 5 times, y'all.
I know.
It's exciting.
Yes.
Okay, exciting. So what do we have for the quick bite?
So for this month's quick bite, American Eagle had a recent campaign. Some of you may have heard of it. Good Genes, featuring Sydney Sweeney, that sparked a heated cultural debate across social media. And while the brand itself generated significant buzz, some of the reactions were split. We did see some praised the boldness, while others criticized it as catering to the male gaze, which we'll get into, rather than women actually buying the jeans. So the result was a campaign that grabbed attention but left audiences divided on relatability and intent, which we'll get into. So let's talk about this, ladies.
Yeah. I mean the male gaze part of it all. I mean, I think the campaign just shocked me. Like it definitely just shocked me. I think in general, the good genes in theory in a boardroom, I could see where like, oh, this is cute. This is a good idea. But yeah, it didn't land. It didn't land with me either. So
yeah. I think that they're like American Eagle and even to the Gap's Gene ads, it's just kind of like shares like there's this culture war that's really happening in brand marketing right now because the American Eagles Good Genes campaign is kind of like splitting opinions. Like when we're looking at the numbers between like red and blue lines, and it's not even about selling jeans. It's like you get a celebrity endorsement powered by the president in a presidential tweet. So obviously women thought that the spot was more about the male gaze. Obviously, they thought it was about, men looking at her and not women and actual shopping because I actually want some good jeans. I don't care about the sexy girl wearing them. And I think that it's like relatability called out as window dressing. So I like, for me, I was like, I'll pass. Like, show me something that like fits well that I look good in and not you and the president. Like, yeah. Thumbs up.
Right. I also think to your point of, celebrity endorsement, picking a celebrity, like obviously, celebrity endorsement is important. I understand that it makes sense for campaigns and it draws attention, but also picking a celebrity that makes sense with what you are selling and who you are selling to, because we had, in comparison, I mean, I honestly think the Gap ad dropped so quickly because of this gene controversy. I think that they capitalized on that, and I think that it was a incredible idea because Gap knows what they're doing. They release this like music video gene ad almost every year. Okay, so whether they sped it up or not,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. This is like clockwork.
1999, actually. Yeah. So it was, they had Tyla one year. They had Troye Sivan the other year. I know this because I'm in a book club and we went through and watched all the Gap ads. So
Yeah.
right, which to the point, they're rewatchable, they're recognizable. If you see a celebrity dancing in jeans to a popular song, you know it's going to be a Gap ad. But it's not just about the celebrity endorsement, but it's about it making sense. So for the KatsEye ad, obviously it made sense. They're an up-and-coming girl group that works for Gap. They get to show multiple of their products on 5 different girls. But then also KatsEye has been upcoming with their like place in fashion. Like I think that they did the Fendi they did a Fendi fashion show recently.
They also in Flaunt magazine. They have the cover of actually Flaunt magazine, and they're for VMAs. So
right, exactly. So that celebrity endorsement, that celebrity recognition makes sense on both ends. Right? Like it made sense for KatsEye, it's helping KatsEye. It made sense for Gap, it's helping Gap. And so to your point, Barika, about okay, cool, sexy girl in the jeans, but it's like, does it make sense for anybody involved?
Well, I mean, I guess if males are going to be buying you jeans, absolutely. But
right.
I think because Sweeney represents that like all American blonde, beautiful girl, you know, like that she represents that. And so for American jeans, they took a gamble on that, and it didn't really pan out because of the political and politicized nature of that whole.
I think that when she first hit the scene and was on Euphoria, and even her character in Euphoria, like, kind of speaks to this like male gaze thing. I think it's more of a critique in the show. However, I think that she has been also very vocal about how, life as an entertainer is hard and you have to do what you have to do. She has actually said that on multiple occasions. And to that point, she has kind of realized that men love her and switched, her audience, which is not a bad thing. If that's the audience that works for her, that works for her. Again, she had like the bathwater soap. I'm sure that got gobbled up by men.
Like, she's gotta make that money. Okay.
And honestly, yes. Like, do what you have to do. I don't think anybody is upset about that. At least anybody here is upset about that. But I also think that then when you turn around and try to sell to women with that same tactic that you're using, we're gonna be like, girl, we are not the men. Like, it's not like the jeans good or not? Like
I can't even tell. I can't even see right now.
I literally can't see them. Like, so.
Well, that raises the bigger question of like, is the brand, do they know who their audience is number one? And are they effectively targeting their audience?
Yeah.
So this goes back to, I mean, I know American Eagle had a rebrand at one point, and I don't know that rebrand has landed, for the right audience. Based on this, campaign alone, I would say no, because it did, although it did stir the buzz that they probably intended and hoped for, it did it obviously in a positive way. So in those terms, that to me doesn't make the brand campaign successful. So it's a matter of going back to the drawing board and talking internally with the team to kind of figure out like, okay, so who is this for? What are we selling? Who is this for? I think that's always an important question to ask for any campaign, that is put out by any brand across the board.
Well, I do want to bring up just like if we look at sales, that Gap significantly outsells American Eagle. I mean, their annual revenue was 15.16 billion, while American Eagle's outfit projected is at about 5.27 million. So basically a third of Gap sales. And you can see why, because they're struggling to try and find who is our audience. And even with the Sydney Sweeney, like that didn't raise their sales. So I think that finding your audience is way more important than tacking yourself onto a celebrity endorsement. Speaking of which, isn't Tracy Kelce, isn't he also an ambassador for American Eagle?
Yeah, so Travis Kelce is an ambassador for American Eagle, which to me tells me that they are speaking to a certain audience. I don't feel like Travis Kelce and Sydney Sweeney are like too far off on like celebrities who would be endorsed for the same campaign. But again, to Sarah's point, I'm not sure how that's converting to sales. Like, and like even in the sales conversation, there is a video that I have linked in our doc. There's a girl on TikTok doing the KatsEye dance, which is another thing. Like KatsEye is they are generating participation. They're generating cultural moments, a whole dance that tons of people on TikTok are doing right now. You like, I can't get off TikTok without looking at this. So like, but one of the videos that I linked, one of the girls was doing the dance in a pair of Gap jeans that she bought. Right. So, so clearly what they are doing is converting to sales. They're using people who are influential enough to get them to make the sales, to want to buy the things. I think at my book club, we were literally talking about how we should probably be them for Halloween. What would we have to do? Gap jeans. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Yes,
I mean, I know they focused on the actual engagement, like especially like going back to what TikTok was actually about, which it
was
came in. It was the dancing, and so they went back to what their audience is. Their audience, like KatsEye, embodies the audience creating a band, honestly. Because they were the ones that voted, they put them together. And so they really did a great job of making sure that they let real users generate the narrative, and that's how they got the engagement numbers. That's how they were actually moving the needle to get people to buy the product, is who is going to make people feel like bystanders or participants. And Gap made them feel like participants.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even to the point of Travis Kelce, like I do wonder if maybe I don't know the timeline. I know that his announcement of being an American Eagle partner is recent, but then also he's recently had his engagement that was huge on on social media. So I am wondering. I am wondering if maybe they feel that will give them some sort of leverage. I don't know how in on the engagement they were. American Eagle was, right? But I have seen a few articles about it. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's fiance, American Eagle partner. So I'm wondering if that, but then also, again, that doesn't really create longevity. Like, yes, obviously people love Taylor Swift. So like, I think the jumpsuit she wore for her engagement like sold out in like
minutes.
Yeah, it did. Like literally in minutes, it was sold out. I'll link to where it's from, but I'll show us. I'll insert that where it's from. Because you can't get that anyway. But so I'm wondering if maybe they are trying to capitalize on that as well, because they know that those Swifties, okay, they will ride. They will buy a pair of men's jeans for Taylor Swift. So I'm just wondering, like, they're clearly trying to figure it out, but it's just it's an interesting process to watch. Yeah.
It's just come together. But you can call us American Eagle. We'll be happy to help you find out your audience.
Yes, you can. Yes. But yeah, I think
so. Really, overall, the theme that we're finding and the important question that we're really, trying to put forward and kind of emphasize on is knowing who your audience is. It's important to always know who your audience is, always be in alignment on whether or not are you including all generations, or are we trying to bridge the gap between these generations, and is it okay to have a niche audience? Because I feel like right now Gap has hit it on the head with understanding and being very clear with who their core audience is, whereas American Eagle I feel like is a little all over the place. Like they might be trying to target too many groups of people, and it's just missing the mark at this point.
And that
Sarah, you said that they did the campaign because they were trying to like bridge like a Gen Z.
Yeah, I mean, what I read online, particularly the article from Ad Age, they basically did say that when they have their rebrand was intended to encompass all of the generations, the younger generation. So whatever comes after millennials, Gen Alpha, and Gen Z.
Wait, aren't we? Isn't Gen Z?
Wait, who's Gen Alpha?
Like Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. So Gen Alpha is Naya's.
Okay. No,
So,
yeah, and this is something, honestly, we've been seeing so much. Like, I think this week, like B3 specifically been working on just like a lot of content. And I feel like this question keeps coming up because we just recently did a video about the difference between Cracker Barrel and McDonaldland, and we'll get into Cracker Barrel later. But the main thing that we're seeing is that like McDonaldland successfully, by bringing back McDonaldland, they bridged the gap between this like crazy kooky thing that Gen Z would be interested in, but they also gave the familiar feeling to the generations before who were like literally there with McDonaldland. Like Ronald McDonald used to come to my school every year. Like, so, you know, it's
actually go here. Like it was a place, like it was a destination.
Yes, you could literally go. Yes. So they successfully did that, while Cracker Barrel tried to appeal right to Gen Z by taking away their historical figure, and their older core audience was pissed. And so I think that we are, so like even in just that small example, in this example with the jeans, I think that we are finding that a lot of people are trying to figure out how they can appeal to Gen Z. But I also think that there is a question of like, do you need to appeal to Gen Z? I understand needing to get like
younger
audience, yeah, because obviously, you know, we are more so, and we've talked about this before, more so of like the consumers. But also, is it okay for you to focus on a specific generation of people in your audience, or do you absolutely have to bridge that gap? And if so, how do you do it successfully when you're somebody, for example, like Cracker Barrel, who thrives on literally that nostalgia? Like older people are going to Cracker Barrel. Like that's just what it is, you know.
Whatever. Yeah. I love Cracker Barrel. Do not I actually do, because I'm from the South. And so I have always been a fan of Cracker Barrel, but I didn't really care one way or the other about the logo. I didn't know it was such a point of contention, but we can get into that because now it is time for our game segment. So let's get off the quick bite. And I wanted to talk to you guys because this week has just been, like you said, full of content, full of things that have been happening. And there were quite a few headlines around creators and brand collabs that have come out. And a lot of those brand deals were like, you know, in the thousands. And as I was reading, y'all, I was like, I'm not going to lie. When I see these creators' insane paydays come across my feed, I'm like, you know, my first thought is like, how is this happening? And is this even real? And like, why am I not a creator? Like that like literally like, why am I not a creator? I'm stuck here.
Question of the day. Question of the
year.
Literally.
Exactly. So today we're going to play a game that I am calling Creator, Cash, or Cap. So basically, I'm going to hit you with 3 statements about real world creator earnings. And you have to tell me if it's cash, which means it's true, or cap, which means it's false.
I love these games, y'all.
I know, it's so funny.
Okay, so y'all ready to play?
Yep.
Sure am.
Okay, first one. So y'all are familiar with Coco Gauff, right?
Of course.
Okay, so Coco Gauff, she actually inked a deal with Naked Smoothies. And the statement is, Coco Gauff earned over $1 million in her first week from her Naked Smoothies collab in 2025. Cash or cap?
Okay.
in the first
What do you
week.
say?
In the first
What do you
week.
say? In the
I'll
first
go with,
week.
Say cash.
yeah, I'm gonna say cash
I'm
too.
gonna say cash. And I think it's because one, what did she win? The US Open or which Open did
Tennis.
she win? Whichever Open
She
she won. She won it. Like, she won an Open.
like,
Okay? And it was a big deal.
she won a US Open.
And Naked smoothies people already like, it's not like there's some little brand. So I can imagine them paying her and then the payoff ending up at $1 million. I don't know.
And Sarah, you agree with the cash?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, the correct answer, you guys, is Cap. Because while her endorsement portfolio is very lucrative and she is one of the world's highest paid female athletes, there's no confirmation that Naked Smoothie's deal was over $1 million in a week. And her major income sources still remain her tennis winnings from the US Open and broader sponsorships.
But I feel like a lot of creators say that. Like, there are creators online who I would think are like, and they're like, yeah, that's not my main earning. I'm like, oh,
no.
From that.
Like,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how like products is, and I have one like that too. But you'll be surprised how products is like a main contributor to like generating income over even the brand deals. Okay, statement 2. A food creator's summer partnership with Sweetgreen. Are y'all familiar with Sweetgreen? Like, have y'all ate there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I just had it actually for lunch today.
Oh, well, great. A food creator's summer partnership with Sweetgreen and Frog Hollow Farm earned them more than $10,000 for a single peach-themed content shoot in 2025. Cash or cap?
I'm gonna go with cap.
Okay. I was good. Okay, let me read the question again because now I'm scared.
A food creator.
Cash, because 10,000 I feel is not that much, like in brand deal creator world. So I'm gonna go cash. But okay.
All right. The correct answer is cash. So you were right, Taylor. Food creators, they use Pierce Abernathy, and he is a food influencer. He partnered with Sweetgreen for a branded on-location social shoot, and he commands $10,000 for a single campaign, both showing that the creator's star power and the value brands now put on authentic story-driven content. So just him doing that peach theme thing got him $10,000 for one content shoot. Like, I was like, okay, great.
I
I'm
believe
gonna get in my creator bag.
I know this is gonna inspire us all.
It really.
Exactly. Like, exactly. I'm hoping to inspire you all to become creators. This one blew me away, and I was like, yeah.
Ooh.
Statement 3. A single Roblox creator known for designing in-game items like virtual sneakers and outfits earned over $2 million in a single year from their digital creations alone. Let me know if I need to repeat that.
No, I'm gonna
I
say
get it.
when you said Roblox,
She already knows.
Cash. I believe that like entirely.
Yeah, I'm saying cash too, because Roblox for whatever reason. Well, I get. Is it more? It's more kid focused, right?
You would think.
You would think, that, but it's not necessarily.
Not anymore. It definitely used to be. And there are still children on there. I think that I'll get on my soapbox and talk about how we have a adult children mixing media problem all day nowadays. But regardless of that conversation, I do believe that.
Yeah, same.
That is 100% cash, y'all. And I think, to me, that was the most single important trend in the whole creator economy, because I'm not talking about a brand deal or even a sponsorship, but it's this creator that is acting as a digital business owner. So her name is Sapphire on Roblox, and she's basically running a digital fashion house where she designs, creates, and sells his own virtual. They're not even real, y'all. They're not even real. Virtual products to the audience on Roblox Marketplace.
Taylor, you need to get on that.
And every sale, you can have a handbag, a pair of sneakers, whatever is a direct input into your pocketbook, because the creator has become this media company and also a product company.
Insane.
And she designed it. She owns the IP. And that's really why, like, I took this week to, like, you know, focus on the creator economy and write a blog, focus on that, because it shows how the principles of a good contract, IP protection, are just as critical for virtual assets as they are for the guy, the Sweet Greens creator, Pierce Abernathy, and how he was able to get that money. Check those receipts. It's just as important for a real world photo shoot. So whether you do it virtually or whether you do a real world photo shoot, you know, you can still collect the dollars for that. So thank you for playing my game. I appreciate it. Taylor, you were the winner. You were the winner of the game today.
I just said cash to everyone. I was like, I believe it. There's not much I don't believe when it comes to these things. Like, you tell me that, I'll be like, yeah, I believe you.
Right.
But
I've got some AI property that I gotta sell you.
No, literally. It's so funny with that one. You know why I believe that? I babysit one of my cousins, and she had been talking about this Roblox gift card she wanted all week, y'all. I swear I was she had been talking about it all week. She had just been talking about it to me. So she clearly wanted me to take her to get it. And so I, you know, called her mom and I was like, hey, like, you know, she wants to, like, can I take her to get it? What she bought was an outfit. That's what she wanted to buy so bad, was an online outfit.
A digital outfit.
Saying that to me, I'm like, yeah.
I literally need to put Muggsy Mad Lab.
I know, you need to put Muggsy Mad Labs on Roblox.
I'm about to start doing research because,
yes,
we'll split the cut with all of us. Just for the conversation.
I was like, let me do your
digital business down.
Your marketing. I can help you market it on Roblox,
and you can, and I will, and you have the job. You were hired. That is insane. So funny.
But keep us updated. Keep us updated, for real.
Yeah. No, actually,
exactly.
No. We'll discuss offline. Okay.
So I will turn it over to Taylor, who is going to take us through the full Byte this week.
Yes. Okay. So speaking of controversial ads, I think this is kind of our theme for today. We have been discussing Cracker Barrel. We discussed it last time because it was so relevant. We're going to discuss it in full detail today. But yeah, so just for some background, here at B3, we kind of have like this cadence where at the top of the week, we want to make sure that we're understanding like what happened throughout the weekend when we were gone, what is trending, what can we do to further our clients along in what is up and coming, what's already happening, what's slowing down that you don't need to pay attention to necessarily anymore, right? So we do have this tool called Nichfire. So we did want to take a look at Cracker Barrel, kind of like we mentioned before. So we did see this naturally come through in their trend discovery section. So this is something that truly is trending, that people are truly talking about. And so kind of looking at these key trend indicators. So we see that the predicted trajectory is rising. We see that the sentiment is negative. That is based on the conversation that's being had about the backlash of changing the logo, so much so that they did change it back. So that makes sense. And then we see the week over week growth and that the conversation is still growing. And so even for me, like I love even just these simple indicators, because I did a video about Cracker Barrel and McDonald Land. And one of my main questions was like, well, is this still something that people are talking about, right? Like, I know that it happened a few days ago. Like, is this going to be, a void conversation by the time I put this video out? Well, the tool is telling me that people are still talking about it. there is still growth. There is still room for me to make this video. And so I think that that is something that I was really happy to see like in this tool. And so then we move through the social volume and the news and media article volume. And so we can obviously see the amount of mentions, which is way higher on social volume. This has been something that's been talked about on social. And we see the same pattern for both of them. So we can see that the conversation kind of started around the 22nd, because that's when they announced the logo change. And then there was like this backlash. And then as that conversation started to die down, the president actually was voicing his upset about the logo change. And that's when we saw it rise back up. And also around the time that they decided to change the logo back, right? Because of the backlash. And I believe their stocks also went down. So I'm sure that was the reason. Yes.
They did.
Exactly. And so then we can see the search traffic, which I can tell you I was definitely a part of. We see that on like around the, what is that, the 8th? What does that say? Yeah, around the 8th. There was no conversation. There was like 32 mentions of Cracker Barrel, and it's just going up and up and up and up, and it's still increasing by 43.99%. So people are still talking about it. People are still searching up what happened. So we know that, again, this is something that is still being talked about and that is still relevant. Here we kind of see these blocks of, oh wait, it went, okay, there it goes. Here we kind of see these blocks of themes. So grandma's grievances of Cracker Barrel logo change, which are kind of neutral in the middle. That's why we have that brown. And then we have the woke rebranding controversy, which was, of course, like we talked about, part of the reason that their core audience was so upset was because they have an audience that, you know, really relies on that historical Uncle Herschel figure, and they were not happy that he was gone. So we can see those things, right? Like these same things that I was seeing like in news articles, right? We can see these same exact things coming through in these themes and kind of where they're landing on a sentiment scale. All of this is brownish red. And like we said, this is a negative conversation. So the people are not happy. But this is definitely matching up with what we're seeing online, but just in way more detail, which is incredible. And then if we go down, we see again the sentiment score. So it's completely orange, which means it's completely negative, completely consistent across that. And we can see these peaks in those same. So again, that August 25th peak, I believe that is the time the president voiced his upset about the logo change. And shortly thereafter, the announcement that the logo would go back to the same. And you can see after that sentiment's still negative, but it's going back. It's kind of rising up. And then we have the category breakdown. So of course, it's going to be largest in the industry and business, but we see that it takes effect on all types of different categories. So politicals and social issues, like we just mentioned, the kind of woke positioning of getting rid of Uncle Herschel. And then we also have it in the science and technology. So just in terms of like logo creation and like in terms of design. So that's kind of a big conversation there, right? We also have arts and entertainment, which I'm sure is more so coming from, I mean, we would have to click in to check it out. But I do think that probably is coming more from, yeah, let's see. Let's click. Okay. Hiring Gordon Ramsay instead. Yeah, so joke culture, the jokes, the memes, I've been seeing them. Bullying works, I've seen that one. So yeah, definitely just looking at that. And then of course, again, the subcategory breakdown. So we see that food and drink, of course, we're talking about a restaurant. Again, politics is coming in at a very close second. We also see design, of course. We're talking about logo design. We're talking about how that affects brands and things like that. Current events, again, coming in with news and media. We have markets and economy. Their market crashed because they did this. So definitely just seeing that all of these things, although yes, they have to do with one industry, how these things connect and how these conversations are cross conversations across multiple things and how it rarely ever stops at just the food and industry beverage thing, which is the same thing we talked about with Sydney Sweeney, right? Like how a lot of that became political.
Exactly.
And yeah, this is Nichfire. We love Nichfire.
We love Nichfire. I mean, I think this is cool too, because like we kind of take the time to like scroll through and see like what things are like Spotify features, and I thought Netflix theaters, which is the emerging trend of Netflix releasing its films in actual traditional theaters, is another cool trend that is kind of coming to play and is positive in nature. And for us, like being able to kind of share these things with our brands and how they could either put this into their marketing initiatives, into their products, services, or even mitigating issues that are coming up that we're seeing that may impact them, is a great way to kind of like stay ahead of their competitors, and also make sure that we are sharing things that they can run with and that they can do things with, and not just like data that happened in the past, which is a lot of times what social listening data is. It's telling what happened, but this is kind of telling like what's on the rise and providing predictions of like what is going to be a big thing. And like you said, for some costume brands, maybe they should know about being one of the KatsEye. Like that thing, like people are going to be dressing up for that. So that's a really good way to kind of showcase that particular technology. Well, this was a good episode. I had fun. We had a lot of cool things to talk about.
Which we always do.
I know.
So the recap is American Eagle versus Gap. What was up with the jeans campaign? We kind of explored that, knowing your audience, making sure it aligns with every campaign that you put out, especially if you have a celebrity attached to it. Then we segued into the Travis Kelce campaign, how that aligned with the brand. Then your fun cash and cap. Loved it. Next time I hope to win, but Taylor, you got this one.
Sarah, you keep winning already. Give us some of us the crown.
Fair enough.
All the time.
Fair enough.
Right.
And then our discussion about Nichfire and how you can actually utilize us to be on top of all the trends and how you can apply that to your branding campaigns for the future. Now, Taylor, wrap it up.
All right. Before we go, if you guys have anything you want us to talk about, anything you want us to touch on, anything that you thought was interesting, definitely drop it in the comments, and we are listening to you. Like always, this is what we do. We social listen. So let us know. And Brika, I'll hand it off to you.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in for the 5th episode of ByteSized. We will see you guys next month for another ByteSized deep dive. And in the meantime, if you want to connect with us, please connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at B3 Media Solutions, and on X and Blue Sky at B3MS Inc. And lastly, you can always visit us at our website at www.b3mediasolutions.com. And we hope to see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.